Jackson Radio Show.
Trump has got to get on the TV and tell his supporters that violence in the political process in America is not acceptable. End of discussion.
Let me, 1 second, Ronald. I'm sorry. I just want to play devil's advocate for 1 second on this. Some of your supporters in Chicago were acting violently as well. And I have to say, the guy who rushed the stage yesterday at Donald Trump voted for you. Now, I know you're not encouraging the violence, but you need to tell your supporters.
Millions of people voted for me. If I have to take responsibility for everybody who voted for me, it will be a very difficult life. You know.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. As you've probably realized by now, the left does not care about what you think. They don't care how they get what they want out of you. And in most cases, the very people who claim to be nonviolent are violent. You just heard Bernie Sanders. He gets asked point blank, this guy did this in the name of you. I can't be responsible for that. If Donald Trump says that, he's a scapegoat. He didn't apologize quickly enough. Donald Trump nor Bernie Sanders should have to apologize for what somebody does in their name when they have no control over these people. But we've come to this. But what it shows you is the level of accountability. We know with all common sense, there's nothing you can do to control a group of people who support you. If one of my followers or whatever you want to call them, fans, went out and did something crazy, I could, what would you expect me to do? Take credit? I'm sorry. I mean, geez, who knew? I don't ask you guys to do anything crazy. I ask you to use your common sense. I ask you to use your God-given talents, your God-given rights to speak up for the things that you believe in, not the things that I necessarily believe in. We don't have to agree in lockstep about, what the particular issue is, but what we can agree on is that we should be able to voice our opinions. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. He says, Kevin, what do you think about these white, nationalists if indeed they marched in Charlottesville? I go, ask me if I care. It's their First Amendment right. We disagree that white people are the end all be all. I don't believe in white nationalists, black nationalists, brown nationalists. I believe in nationalists. I believe in people who love America. And in other countries, they look at me and go, look at that old pro-American guy over there, and probably have disdain. But I'll tell you something. I see a person from Poland or Czechoslovakia and Kevin, number one Czechoslovakia, whatever. Congratulations. I'm not mad at them. Voice your opinion. It happens to be wrong. America's number one. But voice your opinion and be a proud Czechoslovakian. I'm not mad at you for it. I don't want to shut you down. I don't want you to feel you are you're under siege potentially because our ideas differ. Our ideas differ because we're different people. But what we should be in agreement on is the fact that God gave us all mouths, generally gave us a voice, the ability to understand one another, and we should be able to articulate a message. But the left doesn't want that. So Bernie Sanders, as duplicitous as he is what leftism represents, is the duplicitous nature of man, says there should be no violence in politics. Politics should be above this. Okay, let's not have violence in politics. Oh, but Bernie, what about the violence of your people? What do you want me to take credit for that? No, I don't, Bernie. But what I don't want you to do is decry somebody else when it happens to them. I don't want you to have a double standard. And it's not just Bernie Sanders, it's all these people. They all have double standards. They all believe that their cause gives them some greater ability to speak on behalf of, insert minority or depressed group here. And it's always somebody like a Bernie Sanders. Some bourgeois white guy. And then Bernie, Kevin, he's a socialist. He's poor. He's not poor. He's a bourgeois white guy. A guy that has made money on pretending to be inept at something. He's not inept. Bernie Sanders doesn't want to spend the time to learn to do something great. Kevin, he was a horrible carpenter. Okay, so what? I might be too. How's he at staining wood? How's he at putting on handles? How's he at decorating? How's he at mowing yards? I don't know. Bernie don't know, don't care. He doesn't care. Bernie Sanders squandered his abilities and became a politician who preached on the poor people, the poor this, the poor that. He's rich. You think he's ever going back? These people that preach about tolerance and getting along with fellow man and peace and harmony are the most crooked people. They will beat you to death over what they want to achieve in life. It's unbelievable. Donald Trump issued some visa sanctions. I'm shifting gears. I'm a little bored. I'm not bored, but maybe I am. You guys bored? Am I boring you? If I am, you can let me know. It's okay. You know what? You know what's boring to me? The same old stories. The same old, same old. When does it end? And I have an answer. We set up a trust. You can donate to it. I don't have the details for you yet. But we set up this trust where you can donate and say, Kevin, end it. Put your money where your mouth is, black man. Go end it. Go end this idea that everything around us is racist. You got a guy. Maybe we should talk about that before we get into what Donald Trump did. Let's talk about this guy. He's from Antifa. And you won't believe what he says is racist. Talked about it on a friend of mine's show and decided to cover it here. Let's play the clip.
So Cracker Barrel, thanks for getting back to us with our messages and our tweets. Of course that didn't happen, did it? So you probably also remember me from a video I sent you about 3 weeks ago, which you failed to respond to as well. Of course, I'm sure you do remember me. Blame this on yourself, honestly. Blame this on the fact that you're too cowardly to have any kind of response to somebody calling you out on your I have to take this to a public level now. Too many people have been asking us lately about what's the deal with the racist undertones involving your restaurant. And so let's start with the rocking chairs, because that seems to be on everybody's mind lately. The rocking chair kind of invokes this period of time, right? It's you have just your farmhand whittling wood in the evenings, sitting in front of his plantation house. It's kind of this whitewashed Norman Rockwell-esque kind of image you're supposed to get out of it, when in fact it was always just some racist farmhand or farm owner who was doing this while slaves were chained in their bunkhouse.
That's right, America. An Antifa white guy is going to come to the aid of black people in the form of Cracker Barrel and their rocking chairs. Rocking chairs. When I think of rocking chairs, I think of somebody rocking their child to sleep. That's what I think of. But this guy has evoked civil war, antebellum South imagery in order to protect black people from Cracker Barrel. Which, by the way, I jokingly say, they tell you what's there. It's a Cracker Barrel. What else do you think you're going to find in that barrel? If black people eat a Cracker Barrel, believe it or not. And it's good food. It's nostalgic. It's a throwback, a time of, it takes you back to yesteryear. Little gimmicky candy and, stuff like that. It reminds you of an old town country home. And this Antifa, little white snowflake, sees Cracker Barrel as a place of oppression. I just want you to understand how bad it is on the left. First of all, I don't know how you come to this. Cracker Barrel sells food. It's a restaurant. It's a themed restaurant. What themes can you... Barbecue. Oh, there be barbecue, Kevin. That takes me back to the days of slavery when people was barbecuing. Negro was... What in the world are we... Folks, this is how crazy the world is. A white guy argue. And it's funny. Cracker Barrel has been around. I don't know how long it's been around. When I discovered Cracker Barrel, I legitimately just thought of... I literally thought of the joke I just said. But when I went there, I loved it. The old toys that they had, I was like, man, you remember this toy? I was telling my sons, hey, you don't remember this toy, but Dad used to play with this little spinning top or this whatever. It was amazing. The food is good. It's not great, but it's good. And it's a little drop of nostalgia. I never went into a Cracker Barrel going, ooh, yeah, I don't know. Can we go in there? It says crackers on there. I mean, what should we do? I went in. My friends are like, have you ever eaten a Cracker Barrel, Kevin? No, you should go. It's really good food. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll go. I never thought anything. This is where we are. And it gets worse. This guy, and we'll play it because we're going to run out of time this segment. I want to play not the rest, because we'll play about another minute and a half of his clip. It gets far worse. This is an illness, folks, a mental illness. These are people that look for racism in places that you go, surely you're joking.
Kevin Jackson
on the Black Sphere Radio Network.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.